Hey guys! So this is our video for July. It's a bit late and we're posting it in early August because both of us had really busy weeks, but here it is. And this month we read Betrothed to Jack Frost by Alycat1901.
Woo! Yeah. Sorry about that lateness, but you know, lives happen. I'm going to read the summary out so you can kind of have an idea of what the story was about. Elle Darrow had never been anything but ordinary. She grew up to believe myth and magic belonged in the land of make-believe and wonder. Fate works in mysterious ways. Upon being kidnapped and forced to become engaged to a malevolent god, Elle discovers that former individuals she believed to be fairy tale characters aren't as imaginary as she once thought. Trapped in a land where gods and monsters rule, Elle works to return home and outrun a millennial of prophecy-dictated fate in the process. But what comes with a very big problem when you're dealing with powerful gods and deities? You have to remember that not all characters from myths and legends are the good guys. Dun dun dun! There's a few main characters. I think Ellie's the big one for sure. So what did you think about her as a whole, character-wise?
It's been a while, but in general I think she was pretty good. I mean, I think there were a few times she probably shouldn't have been wandering the halls of this foreign palace by herself, like when the lion almost kills her. So, but I think in general she is a pretty good main character. What about you? You've read it more recently.
Yeah, I think she was very much meant to be us getting to introduce the world, if that makes sense. Like us, she's being our understanding of it all. It's all new to her, it's all new to us. Something I really like about her character is she wasn't perfect. As you said, she wandered the halls. She went out her way to kind of not be as a pushover as I think they were expecting, like the king and queen and everything, which meant that they kind of were going out their way to try and kill her. She was very stubborn, and the one thing I really, really liked about her is all the way through the story, everyone was kind of dictated by what this prophecy was, that their fate was already sealed in the stars kind of thing, and she was the one character that was like, no, you write your own story, and she was a very firm believer of that all the way through.
If there were ever a prophecy like that and I was a character, it would drive me crazy.
Oh yeah, if I knew something like that, and a lot of the time, they did talk about some characters, they just accepted that as being fate, and they did go crazy, like one god killed themselves because so many prophecies were saying so many things about them, they mentioned that. But it's one of the things I'm I don't think I'd like to know what my future held, because then I'd be like, oh well, I have to do that kind of thing. So it was one of those things she was really strong.
And what did you think of Jack Frost?
I came to love Jack Frost. It was a process.
Yes.
At the very beginning, I wasn't that fond of him because he literally turned up to a 5-year-old's room to kill a 5-year-old. What happened was when we met Jack's family, that's kind of when it started turning for me, because you realised he's the most normal one out of all of them. He's sarcastic, he's sassy, because the rest of them are just so up themselves, and he just doesn't want to deal with it kind of thing. And I really enjoyed him coming to grips with his feelings for Ellie. It sounds really bad, but the chapters that were him kind of understanding his feelings, I was just living for them, because it was just this mental debate between him, and I was like, you're so adorable, this is adorable, just admit that you fell in love with this girl, it's just so cute. What about you?
So yeah, at first he weirded me out. It's alright, this is gonna be a romance, and it's between this guy who's got issues, is he bipolar or something? Because he's murderous, and now he kind of likes her. Yeah, but to me, his before character and after character were almost kind of two different people. But like you said, I liked him a lot better in the latter half of the book.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the good things about him, though. It was nice to see that kind of character development. I mean, Ellie didn't have as much character development, but I think that's because she was our our eyes into this world, whereas he had to be firmly in that world already. So it was nice to see that character development within someone we kind of were getting to know. What did you think of, I think the next main person is Apollo, or Aiden?
So, kind of sweet, kind of cute. Trying to take someone's girl or something when they're engaged, though, isn't, like, super cool, you know?
Oh, yeah. I like the whole... I like that Elle had, like, Apollo as a best friend figure. Like, she had a comfort when they got moved to that place. But it was one of those, once Elle started to have feelings for Jack, it would be then when Apollo decides to tell her he has feelings too. And I was like, don't make this a love triangle. If she had said that at the beginning of the book, yes, she would have went with him. But so much had happened, she had changed so much the person where she had said no to Apollo. And though that kind of made their friendship awkward, I hope their friendship is still there. Like, especially going into book 2. I'm like, she needs someone. She needs someone. So what did you think plot-wise? Let's discuss the plot.
So I was kind of confused with Jack Frost at first because he almost seemed, you know, as far as, like, veering from his, like, affection and attraction towards her, towards, like, not liking her and trying to murder her. But also with that came a lot of intrigue because from the start, I mean, it's betrothed to Jack Frost. You know he's the primary love interest, and it's like, how the heck are they going to get together at this point? So that was really interesting.
There was, I was going to say, as we kind of said, there's so much that happens in this book. You know that the story is them getting to the point where, like, okay, he's the love interest, they're getting to that point where you know they're going to end up together. But it was kind of one of these, it was one of these, I didn't know if it would be normal or it would be like going into this fantasy realm and stuff. So when the fantasy realm stuff happened, that's when I was like, ooh, this is different. And it was one of those, I don't think it ever lulled, if you know what I mean. The story never lulled. It was always the next thing happened. And you were always learning things that helped come the last battle or come prophecy-wise. You got all the different gods' versions of the prophecy. And it was just one of those, it was really interesting to get that world building as well. So fluidly into the plot while things were happening. Like, you learn about, like, the arena and, like, the different kingdoms and then, like, the Norse gods and stuff, like with Loki. When she first starts in the real world, she's one thing, and when she comes back to the real world again, she's changed it as well. And we changed the reader, we know all this background information as well, so that was interesting. There was so much in the plot, though. So much.
Definitely. Like, I read this way back January after our first Skype call together, and I read it all in one day. And it's just, like, going over everything, it's like I've forgotten so much just because so much has happened. But you're also right. Because so much happens, there's not really, like, a lull in the plot or, like, a place where it sags or gets boring. I suppose the part with the slowest pace might be the cabin scenes, but I feel like I was still really engaged in those because that's where they do a lot of their relationship building.
Yeah, I think that it wasn't like a lull, it was like a lull in the action, but it wasn't a lull as in, you could so tell their feelings had developed to such a point that they needed some space with just them, where they didn't think about the outside world so they could finally figure out what was going on between the two of them. And then mermaids attack them, but, you know.
Puts a damper on things.
Damn those mermaids! So I guess the last thing is writing. What do you think of the writing style?
I think it was professional. Again, the writing of all the things we look at, it's kind of like the smallest, most, I don't want to say nitpicky, but like minute detail that we study, because like the characters and plot you can remember, but I think it was pretty good. It probably, like, again, the prose, I love the prose in the Shadow Watch, like the sheer detail and how it's...
I think everything is going to be compared to that at the moment. It wasn't as that, but it wasn't like a weird full stops in the middle of sentences and stuff. It was very, because obviously I've read it a bit more recently, it flowed really well, the writing was really well. There's maybe one or two grammatical things, but that just comes with being on Wattpad. The world building was all there, so I think as a writer that was definitely character's world. It was down.
But yeah, I think it was crisp and polished and professional, because it's really hard to read a Wattpad book that doesn't have a certain level of it's not at a certain level of like being polished and stuff just because it's hard to read through all the mistakes, but this didn't have that problem. So I think it was good writing all in all.
And it's definitely one I feel there will be an improvement, because everyone improves if you keep writing. So come book 2, I'm sure I'll see an improvement. And I want book 2 now because the ending, I was so annoyed with that ending.
I know, I've been dying like for 6 months. I'm just happy you could suffer with me now.
Because I was like, they were so close to happiness and he turned on her, and I was like, I actually screamed at my phone when that happened. I think I was on the train back from Edinburgh and I screamed at the phone on my own. I was just like, you're in public, but it's worth it.
Well, there you guys have some of our thoughts on Betrothed to Jack Frost. We're both really looking forward to the second book. We have some interesting characters here with Jack Frost and how his relationship develops with Elle. And then, of course, the plot's really great. There's some part where the pacing slows, but it's like, it's never boring and it's all engaging. And really that's just for the romantic relationship development. So we both really enjoyed it in a lot of different ways. And we're looking forward to the second book. So as you guys know, we've been working through a series. And next month's book is going to be Spies and Skates by VV123321. We'll both link that down below so that you can follow along if you'd like to and join our discussion. And with that, we'll see you later this month. Bye!
Bye!